Every once in a while, you feel like a failure. Maybe you failed a particular test, you blew it, or in general, you're at a stage in life where you realize that I'm not quite who I could be, who I should be, who I would be. And one of the great life lessons is how to deal with that. And I'd like to share with you an interesting observation. David HaMelech, when he was king of Israel, said to Hashem, Bachanani, Hashem, test me. And Hashem said, I will test you, but it's going to be an incredibly difficult test. The test, in fact, was in the area of illicit relations in Arias. And the Navi tells us that David told his guard, bring me Ashes Uriah Hitti, bring me that woman. The guard said, wait, she's a married woman. And David HaMelech lived with a Ashes Ish, with a married woman with Bathsheba. Now, to understand what happened, you have to listen to Shmuz number 43, something out of the box, to understand that this was not a normal test. Hashem made a supernatural situation where David was pulled almost like by an electromagnet. But at the end of the day, David failed. But he didn't just fail. He failed his biggest life test, and he was embarrassed to the extent that's hard to imagine. If you read the words of Tachanun, we say them daily, Agassi ba'anchassi. Hashem, I filled my bed with tears. My trembling was so great. David said about himself that his skin was white, there was no blood. He was so mortally embarrassed, he couldn't stand that sense of busha. As a melech b'Yisrael, as a king in Israel, the entire Jewish nation knew that he failed, that he lived with a married woman. So here's the question. What bridge did David jump off of? Right? Obviously, he killed himself at that point. I mean, it's done. We're finished. No more. The answer is he didn't jump off of any bridge. As a matter of fact, if you count the 7 greatest human beings who ever lived, it's Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Aaron, and David. Of the 7 greatest human beings who ever walked the face of the planet, one of them is David. And do you know why? Because David HaMelech recognized that he failed. David HaMelech recognized that he blew it. And normally what happens to a person is, in that state, there's a voice inside them that says, it's over. We're done with. David Meshicha, Hashem's anointed, Hashem's chosen, forget it. That's no more. You're dirt, you're slime, you're worthless. But that's not what David HaMelech did. David HaMelech had this incredible ability to look in the mirror, stare at the eyes looking back at him and say the words, I failed. But that doesn't mean that I'm a failure. I messed up. I blew it. I failed this test, but that doesn't make me a failure. I blew it. I have to do tshuva. I have to improve. I have to work on this situation. But I, as a human being, still have great worth, still have great abilities. There are many things I do well, many talents. Yes, I failed this test, but that doesn't make me a failure. That dichotomy, to be able to hold both thoughts clearly in mind, is very rare. Either a person says the sin is nothing and it's okay and it doesn't matter, or they say I'm nothing and I don't matter. But that ability to say, yes, I confront the reality that I messed up, I failed, but that doesn't make me a failure, is what allowed David HaMelech to become the great human being that he became. And that is one of the great life lessons, to be man enough to say, I messed up, I blew it, I'm going to correct it. I'm going to do whatever I can to improve in that area and in general, but still being aware of the fact that I have importance and significance. The fact that I failed doesn't make me a failure.
Thank you for listening to the Guard Your Eyes Daily Chizuk broadcast. Pass them on to your friends and help spread Kedusha in the world.